H-O-O-R-Y-D-E. Hooray, hooray. H-O-O-R-Y-D-E. Hooray, hooray.
Hi, my name is Daniela Presti, and I am here at San Diego Indiefest 9. Really excited. I started this festival with my now wife, Alicia Champion, over 10 years ago, and we are so excited to be here. The theme for this year's festival is Rock to Stop Violence. Every year we do an Indiefest. Every year we produce one. We always pick a theme. And by Rock to Stop Violence, we mean all kinds of violence. So we've got all kinds of nonprofits here, and we've got bands addressing that issue, and we're making a very bold statement on the main stage with my set tonight, talking about violence and all the different ways we can become aware of it, understand it, and what kinds of things we can do to address it. The victim's perspective, sure, yeah. I think that one of the most powerful moments of my life was when I was in college. And someone suggested 12-step, and I thought, isn't that just for alcoholics? I mean, I was, 19. And they said, no, there's a thing called Codependence Anonymous, and then you get relationship help. And so I went, and I was surrounded by 40-year-olds, and someone handed me a sheet. It said, rights to appropriate boundaries. And that moment changed my life. That moment changed my life. And I read those words, and I have given out hundreds of copies of that document since that day. And I read things that I never knew. I never knew that it was abuse when someone is being verbally bullying but not calling you names and not hitting you. I learned so many things in that moment from this one piece of paper. And so I just started diving in and finding out more about, what is violence and what is bullying and what do we do to protect ourselves. I got educated, and then I became very, very passionate about sharing what I learned and helping others. I think a lot of people feel so stuck and afraid to do anything. And believe it or not, I think a lot of people, men included, but especially women, are so worried about hurting people's feelings. It seems like such a simple thing, but we will shut up and take abuse for a long time before we speak up because we just want to be good and nice. And so I started my record label, and I called it Say It Records, and it's all about standing up and speaking out. And Indiefest is just an offshoot of that.
My name is Kathy Mendoza, and I am a concerned community member of City Heights and also organize against police brutality. I'm with United Against Police Terror, and I'm helping to do the organizing for the Fight for 15 campaign. On April 14th, there is a call to action at the Hall of Justice at 6 p.m. To demand accountability for all of the deaths by law enforcement. We will meet, we will march. It is a call to action by the Stop Mass Incarceration Network. We're hoping that students, workers, all alike, shut down downtown San Diego, demanding rights for those that have been wrongfully killed by law enforcement and their families. On April 15th, there is a mobilization in City Heights at 1:30 p.m. here in the Rosa Parks Recreational Park. 1:30 p.m. we are going to have a short mobilization discussion on how living wage and how poverty wages are linked to criminalization and police brutality. 3 o'clock p.m. There's going to be a bus ride with lunch to SDSU, and from there is going to be a convergence at SDSU, basically a citywide action which everybody can partake in, and we hope to see you out. Again, April 14th, 6 p.m. Hall of Justice, April 15th, 1:30 p.m. here in Rosa Parks Recreational Park, also right across the street from the police station.
Okay, so the American Civil Liberties Union is almost 100 years old. It was founded to protect our rights as outlined in the Constitution, specifically the Bill of Rights. Our right to free speech, our right against, search and seizure without
What I love about Indiefest is that it's bringing to our awareness all the different ways to stop violence, not just through music, not just through your words or poetry, but also through just being with people. So the fact that we've come together in this space and dedicated our Saturday to be here together and love on each other and learn about each other, that's the first piece to stopping violence.
To celebrating life, to celebrating each other, to celebrating healing, and to doing it in a way where we can come together as a community.
Motivating the teen spirit, our group supports the Indiefest in a big way. We show up with volunteers, but not just volunteers. We will also be speaking today to this whole entire community about emotional healthiness. How do you deal with the pressures of life? When this day is over, all this great stuff that you have with you, what will you do with it when someone makes you mad? What will you do with it when a crisis happens and you have no control over it? How do you deal with the pressures of life? That's what we're all about. Emotional healthiness, social emotional awareness.
Hi, I am Yolanda Ross, and my film is playing tonight, Breaking Night. I'm very happy about that. No, I mean, it's filmmaking, it's paying attention to people, which is the base for everything that I do, and really pay attention to them. And I don't, I feel for me personally, I don't discriminate. Because, you know, once you start putting your own or somebody else's thoughts onto a character, onto a person, or assuming, then you've lost whatever the essence is of that person, like for real, you know. So I really just try and take in the information and then process it and give it to you, the viewer, in a real way. Small things, it's the details. It's the details. You know, when you do those little things that then somebody notices. You know, it's that little thing that you saw somebody doing in the bus and they kept doing it or whatever it was, or it bothered you, but then you did it in a character, you know, because it's like how that person processes things or how they have their nervous energy, you know. As long as I can lose myself in a character, that's it for me. Because it's like taking something in and letting it go through you, and however it comes out is how it comes out. But I think it's a beautiful thing to see somebody go to that rawest point and be vulnerable and be hurt and be all these different things. Because I mean, there's sophistication in different time periods and different ways. It is what I'm wearing and who the character is. That's really how I think my sophistication gets specific for each character. It's the one I've written that I'm looking for funding for right now. It is about a couple in the theater, and you know, they have a relationship and they work together, and an infidelity happens. So yeah, we found that spot. When I did this short, it was, you know, it's very cinematic to me, and it was just, I wanted to do something that I hadn't already written, hadn't thought about. I wanted to make a film from A to Z, like at the beginning of the year, and I did. And I got a great group of people to come along with me on this journey. And the process of making a film was new to me, and I wanted to learn. So that was amazing. We shot down in New Orleans, and the spot that you're talking about, we stumbled upon.
We're here at San Diego Indiefest 9, the star of the Fosters, Annika and Mark.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
So Annika, you're here today with your production company, CityBeat.
Yes.
Excellent. And that's a production company that you started, correct?
Yeah, myself and a couple of friends. It is, we've just created our first project called Stay Filthy Cali. So we sort of came together with the desire to create content that, you know, has meaning. It's not just vanity projects. And the first thing we created was this campaign for the drought. It's sort of a drought awareness campaign, like individual accountability, but we use humor to make our point. They're slightly offensive and raunchy, but hopefully they'll actually encourage people to stop wasting water.
Well, Indiefest being such a diverse event, trying to encapsulate the neighborhood, it tries to introduce art, music, and common communication to young kids and so forth.
Daniela Presti and the masses have been called a gawk-worthy presence by San Diego CityBeat. And Indiefest co-founder and activist rocker Danielle will pay tribute to City Heights with a powerful special presentation honoring the 2015 theme for Indiefest this year, Rock to Stop Violence.
My name's Daniela Presti. I started this little event, San Diego Indiefest, over a decade ago with my then partner, now wife, Miss Alicia Champion. The one who's always working. Back in 2004, I had just released my first indie CD on my own independent record label. It was called Dear Mr. Penis Head. That record was pretty much, at its core, my rebel yell against the mainstream music industry. I was a San Diego girl living in LA, and I was being told over and over again that I was this close to being signed by a major label. All I had to do was change my content, because I'm a woman. And if you're a woman trying to make music and be successful at it, you really have to just write about and sing about relationships and sex and love and partying, and that's all cool. But I didn't agree. Everywhere I looked, I saw girls and women receiving the message that the quickest way to success was to objectify themselves. But the problem with that is that we're not objects. Women are multi-dimensional human beings with value that far outweighs how much stuff we can sell with our bodies and our voices. So I feel that if we want to continue our progress and stop so many women still being mistreated and abused, we first got to be able to observe what's wrong with how we're being portrayed. And then we need to stand up and speak truth to power. Happy Women's History Month. Here's what we'll do. How about we mix it up now, honey? We have the women from the Monday. You're hungry, creaming for our coffee. The stinkiest attitude to take your women for granted. See, there wouldn't be king, and there wasn't a queen. I was with my mama, not a complete screen. With the
bitch. I think of women as angels, they only see them as tricks. Call a woman a bitch, just be tolerated. Girls should only be loved while I see that I hate it, stereotypical, critical, pitiful. Treating women like objects when we can't live it. Listen, you're really about to be a collision. If you keep pressing us